Hey coin collectors and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel, and today it's the 1943 United States nickel, the Jefferson nickel. Of course, the Jefferson nickel had just started in 1938, before World War II. So in 1938, 39, 40, 41, and most of the way through 42, the Jefferson nickel was in fact nickel. It had nickel in it. Now in 1942, at the end of 1942, and into 1943, the nickel was changed. And that was changed so that it could be used during the war. And it was changed to a silver nickel. So it was 35% silver, 56% copper, 9% manganese. And that's why these nickels look not that great, really, right? You see them and you go, well, that's not a great looking nickel. This is actually an okay nickel from 1943. Not in great shape, but it's shape enough to be worth a couple dollars. Some of that, of course, as you know, is silver. It's worth $1.25 just in silver value alone, maybe a little bit more than that. And when I just turned it over, you saw that there is a mint mark on here, and it's weird. It's way up the top here. Look at that. There's where the S is, and that's for the San Francisco Mint. And in 1943, at the San Francisco Mint, they made 104 million of these. 104 million at San Francisco. At Denver, they also made them, and that's the D up there. See the big D there. The Denver Mint, they made 32.3 million, so way less at the Denver Mint, about 1/3. And then at the Philadelphia Mint, and that's going to be the P up there. At the Philadelphia Mint in 1943, they made 271 million. So 2.7 times as many as San Francisco and 8 times as many as Denver. Now, people talk about the Philadelphia Mint 1943 nickel. Couple of things you look for on all these nickels is you look for the steps. Well, there's no steps on here, so we'll just go right past that. But let's look at the back. E pluribus unum, P up the top over the dome of Monticello. You can read that. 5 cents it says here. United States of America. And you can see the manganese and everything just make it a little different. Manganese, of course, is what is in the Sacagawea coins, have some manganese in them. It says, in God we trust, in front of Jefferson, liberty behind him, star there in a 1943. Now, these coins, they have a double die obverse on some of the 1943 coins. And because you can't see it by eye, whenever you get a 1943 Philadelphia coin, put it under some kind of magnifier and see if you can see it. Now, sometimes you'll see PCGS, you'll see it's just really evident. But on these ones, PCGS says always, if you can get them, always put them under and see if you can look at it. And this one, you can't really tell, so it's probably not the double die obverse, which is a really, really expensive version of the coin and could get up into the tens of thousands. You can also get up into the tens of thousands on any of these three, the D, the P, or the S, if you can get up into MS 65, 66, 67. But there's very few of them out there because people had to use them during the war, and they tried not to print too many or mint too many more than they needed. All right, so we see that these all have mint marks on them. And sometimes people ask us about the British coins. And so the coins from the United Kingdom. And here's one of them. This is I'll tip it over and show you. It's a 1 shilling coin. So this coin right here is worth 1/20th of the old English pound sterling. So the nickel's worth 1/20th of a dollar, US dollar. The shilling is worth 1/20th of a pound sterling. And people say, where's the mint mark? Well, on the front, of course, we have George V, DG by the grace of God, Brit-Om, King of all Britons, Brit-Om Rex, King of all Britons, and Rex is the king. And if we tip it up on its edge, we see that it is much like our quarter. And this one's also silver too, and it's 40% silver. It says Fid Def here, Ind Imp, Fid Def, Defender of the Faith, Ind Imp, Imperator or Emperor of India, 19 on this side, 43 on this side, in 1 shilling. So you're going, okay, you said you're going to talk to me about the mint marks. Well, there aren't mint marks, of course, but they are different kinds of coins. How do they do it in Great Britain, or did they do it then? They did it by putting a different reverse on the back of the coins. So you'll see that this one is kind of a crouching lion, and this one is a standing lion. And there are two different reverses on here. One of them is called the Scottish reverse, and the other is called the English reverse. And so the English reverse is this one over here, the standing lion, standing crown lion, and you can see the lion wearing the crown. Up here you see KG. That's for George Kruger Gray. Many of you know George Kruger Gray because he did a couple other things. He did the kangaroo on the Australian coins, and he did, there's the KG, he did the maple leaf on the Canadian coins. So George Kruger Gray did some great engraving for a number of different countries. So you see that there. And then on this one, you see the K and the G here for George Kruger Gray. So he did both of these, both the Scottish and the English reverse. So they didn't have a S and a D, but they did have two different backs on them. And then, of course, on the front, this is not a George Kruger Gray front. I'll show you that. There's an HP here, if you'll see that. And that's Thomas Humphrey Paget, who the engraver of these coins. So this is 1/20th of a British pound sterling in 1943. Oh, and let me show you where the year is. You probably saw it again, but it's in the same on both of them. It's split across. So these coins are very valuable, incredibly valuable, really. If in this kind of shape, you might get 10 or 15 bucks or up for them. The U.S. coins are worth probably $1.50 minimum to $2.50 in this shape, maybe a little bit more. And if you can get all three of them, you could probably sell these three just because it's hard to get the D, the P, and the S. Probably $15. All right, that's all we have today from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Look for the wartime nickels, which have no nickel in them. And then look for coins from other countries too, because it's always interesting to see what kind of other coins are out there and how they do their coins. Thanks for watching DC Coin World International Coin Channel.